Love is coming in many different forms for the month of November. For me, it's coming in mac and cheese and ham, yes. That's right, you heard it here. Today we're looking at the 5th house rulers and the 7th house rulers in transit. You could also look at the 8th house ruler, but we're not getting into all that today. Of course, I gotta put out the disclaimer. If you're not looking for love and you're just wanting money, please stay out of the comments. This video is clearly not for you, or maybe it is because otherwise you wouldn't be commenting on the video. This is for people that are interested in love, romance, connection, relationship. If you're not wanting that, keep scrolling, because your comments are disgusting. Sagittarius, your 5th house ruler is transiting the 1st, and your 7th house ruler is transiting the 8th. In terms of love and romance, you need somebody who's going to align with your individual sense of self, identity, and independence, or perhaps somebody that aligns with your beliefs, your philosophy, since your 5th house ruler is 9 places from itself. Essentially, you mesh well with somebody who fits into your lifestyle without any issue. But we do have to watch out for impulsivity and spontaneity. Because your 5th house ruler is conjunct Mercury retrograde, it is possible to have some communication from the past coming back to you during this time. It don't mean you gotta go back to them. And if you're wanting new, you give that the chop so you don't flop. If you want to hear them out, go ahead, you drink your soup. In terms of relationships, partnerships, and interpersonal connections, similar things can be said because your 7th house ruler is retrograde in the 8th house. But it is time to reassess and reevaluate how you are showing up in relationships, partnerships, and interpersonal connections. So I do recommend prioritizing your healing journey, going below the surface to examine the darker aspects of life, essentially making peace with your past as well. This can help you to better understand your worth and value within connection. Plus, listening to your intuition, letting it serve as guidance, and seeing what feels right will help you within relationships to see which ones are best for you. But honey, get to know these folk before making a serious connection serious, because you got your 7th house ruler trying to Neptune. Gone are the days that we're connecting with potential, please. Other than that, love is pretty much a reflection for the month of November. For Capricorn, your 5th house ruler is transiting the 11th, and your 7th house ruler is transiting the 9th. In terms of love and romance, you're needing somebody who's going to be a friend first, somebody who understands who you are before making anything more serious. You are yearning for a deeper connection, somebody who you could be intimate and vulnerable with. But do remember, you can't be intimate and vulnerable with everybody. Remember, people can only meet you to the level at which they met themselves. The right connections will be willing to grow, expand, and transform with you. Because honey, look, you know how you got over. And the right match for you during this time would help you to build up your confidence, to be more of your authentic self, to shine your light. You better be shining. If they dim it, they're just bitter because they see something within you that they don't see within themselves. Maybe they should shine brighter. In terms of relationships, partnerships, and interpersonal connection, you need somebody who's going to align with your belief system, the lifestyle that you're wanting to create for yourself. But do watch out for being too nitpicky. Look, I said what I said. Nothing wrong with knowing your standard, but nobody's perfect, Hannah Montana. But you also got to listen to your body to see who's for you and who's not for you, because if not, it's just going to show up in your health. And honey, that's not a sport we want to manifest. Well, the bad health, the good health you do. But you knew what I mean. Get out my face. Do be sure that you're being of service to yourself, filling up your own cup and not filling up somebody else's cup to your detriment. Helps you to prioritize the relationship you have with yourself. But it is quite a lucky time for you to put yourself out there. Hey, you never know. Something could turn serious quick. For Aquarius, your 5th house ruler is transiting the 11th house, and your 7th house ruler is transiting the 10th. In terms of love and romance, similar to Sagittarius, you could have somebody returning from the past. This could be a fast friends to lovers scenario, but I do not recommend rushing into this. Take your time, think before you speak. Your 5th house ruler is retrograde until the end of the month. But right now, thoughts are a little scattered, communication could be a little wonky. So do keep in mind the connection that you guys had. If there were any good moments, play off of that. If there are any bad moments, well, don't forget it, but don't play into it either. If you have nothing nice to say, journal it out. With Mars's influence, it's just going to bring inner conflict, tension, frustration. And honey, there's too much energy going on for me to have to deal with more. Please, sit down. Now, in terms of relationships, partnerships, and interpersonal connection, you need somebody who's going to be mature, somebody who's establishing themselves, somebody who's taking control over their lives and their authority, but somebody who's not being controlling either. Essentially, you're wanting a deep connection with somebody who understands who you are, somebody you could be intimate and vulnerable with as well, somebody who helps to bring out the authentic expression within yourself, which essentially leads to building up your confidence. But you can't do that with obsession, you can't do that unhealed, and you can't do that if somebody's not willing to meet you where you met yourself. True depth comes from facing you. If you're not afraid to face you, then honey, you're not afraid to welcome in a partnership during this time. Love for you during the month of November could be a little Saturnian, but hey, there's some long-term benefits if you're willing to put in the work. For Pisces, your 5th house ruler is transiting the 7th, and your 7th house ruler is transiting the 10th. In terms of love and romance, if you're putting yourself out there for dates, you're dating with intention to make that relationship serious. Not trying to mess around and play around anymore. You need somebody who's going to actually grow and evolve with you, somebody who's going to benefit your personal development journey, and somebody who's going to benefit the relationship that you have with yourself. But you have to tap in and listen to your intuition and see what feels right for you. Do they feel emotionally safe? Do they make you feel safe? Are they emotionally intelligent? Look. In terms of relationships, partnerships, and interpersonal connection, since your 7th house ruler is retrograde, you could have somebody circling back. It may not be the best relationship, though. If they were controlling and brought hardship and adversity, give that the chop so you don't flop. But if there was a partnership that ended and they're coming back and they're taking accountability and responsibility for how they showed up before, I'd give them a listen. Now for you, I'm going to need you to get off your holier-than-thou high horse. Listen to what's being said before you make a judgment. Your 7th house ruler is conjunct Mars. Do not be impulsive when it comes to communication. Take the control back. Take your power back. Assess. Take notes before you speak, because you don't want to put your own personal development journey at risk. You didn't come this far to take 3 steps back. Well, some of you maybe did. But to those that don't do it. Mercury is still in retrograde. Let's remember that. But to cater to the relationship that you have with yourself, you could take back control and authority over your own life. You don't gotta go backwards. You could reassess and reevaluate the ways that you're trying to establish yourself and the relationships that you want. Don't move forward, baby. The month of November, relationships can work out. It may come with some past baggage, but you could work through it. You got this. For all the signs, be sure to pay attention to any personal placements as well as aspects being made. Other signs are in the other videos.